My name is Brittany Wilson. I'm the DEI Program Manager for NCWest, and I also lead the DEI committee. My role is building out all of DEI strategy and implementing it across all of the verticals throughout the company and ensuring that our employees and leadership have everything they need to really approach DEI from a positive perspective.
Hi, my name is Devin Carver. I'm a design manager at Arenanet, and my primary responsibility is working with the design team to help meet their career goals, to help them facilitate whatever professional growth they're looking for. I've been taking part in DEI activities for some time, and I just recently joined the DEI committee to help kind of facilitate and do whatever I can to drive things forward on that side.
Hi, my name is Raymond E. I'm a systems game designer focusing on rewards on Guild Wars 2. I design achievements, items, armor, and all sorts of different types of content that involves rewarding players when they play our content.
We've been using the committee as a way to review our strategy, talk about different current events that are going on within the company and externally, and just have conversations about how those things might impact employees, and just generally keep a pulse on DEI-related conversations throughout the company and discuss how that might affect our strategy and how we move DEI forward.
So the Asian Cultural Representation Group was formed in order to help the team make more nuanced and informed choices on what should and should not be depicted throughout the game. There's a lot of diverse perspectives and points of view throughout the entire studio, and a lot of East Asian culture is very wide and diverse. There are many small, subtle nuances, and a lot of the group members wanted to get in and voice their concerns or points of view so that we don't incorrectly portray something.
Primarily, my role is to kind of serve as the intersection of DEI across all verticals of the company. Our strategic pillars we've established are educate, engage, accountability, tolerance, and representation. All of these pillars are, again, how we think about DEI, how we want to use this as kind of a framework for how we approach DEI at the company. A couple of programmatic things I've been working on is establishing our employee resource groups, which again are kind of a foundation of creating those community spaces particularly for groups of underrepresented and marginalized backgrounds to have spaces where they can commune. We've also been working on our Cultural Moments initiative. For example, we have AAPI, or Asian American Pacific Heritage Month. And also, for example, for Mental Health Awareness Month, we brought in a guest speaker to come in and talk about mindfulness.
Well, especially in the hiring and kind of career growth areas, I've focused a lot on how we can increase the talent pool and who we're bringing to the studio, right? One of the things that was very important to me that someone told me about a few years ago and kind of brought to my attention is a focus on not just hiring in people at, say, junior levels who are from underrepresented backgrounds, but also thinking about how do those people see themselves and their career growth inside the studio. And so being able to understand that something that's very important for folks is not just to say, oh, okay, there's someone like me at the studio, but there's also people who reflect my experiences or kind of my points of view throughout the various layers of the studio. And the thing that's important to me ultimately is the games that we make are reflective of the community of people that play them. And we have a very active and very passionate community of people who really care a lot about the game. And the more that we're able to reflect their experiences, who they are, how they live, the better we're able to make things that will spark joy and spark that excitement in them in a way that's much more difficult to do if what you're trying to do is pull yourself outside of your own experiences.
One major example involves the architectural elements depicted in Guild Wars 2. Different cultures have different shapes and styles for the rooftops. They're not all the same, planted upward roofs. They all have small, subtle differences on them. And this is one of the major elements that was discussed by the ACR, which was what does one culture's roof look like compared to another, and what are the architectural and artistic elements that are frequently depicted on them. When we were trying to decide what kind of culture we wanted to depict in terms of architecture, we settled with the Korean style rooftop rather than intermixing different cultures, which they all have their own subtle differences that make them uniquely theirs.
Creative ideas, creative work, which games are to varying degrees, requires new ideas, new perspectives. It requires remixing things. It requires taking, whether it's storytelling genres or whatever else, and kind of bringing those things together to create new things out of them. The more we're able to authentically represent experiences, cultures, whatever, the better off we are, right? It's almost always better to have someone who can speak to that experience personally than it is to try and figure out what you might think of it as an outsider or someone who's unfamiliar.
There's so many business cases for why diversity is good for business, right? But I think even beyond that leads to us creating better products, to creating a more productive work environment where we're really putting our best products forward and creating a space where everyone feels like they can contribute and that their ideas and perspectives are valid.